Hello, it's a bit of a cold looking day here in England. The sky's a bit, it's not that grey. It's good. There's lots of clouds, but at least it's quite bright. So, yeah, it's a bit cold, to be honest. What's the temperature now? I think it's about 9-10 degrees outside, which isn't great. I want it to be a bit warmer because it's springtime, isn't it? We're not in summer yet, are we? If we are, it doesn't feel like we're in summer yet. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about Alton Towers, which I think is the biggest theme park in the UK. Let me check now, because I keep saying it's the biggest and it might not be. Okay, so I've just done a quick search on Wikipedia trying to find out which is the biggest, and I don't know. It's in terms of size, like the area, I think it's the biggest. But in terms of popularity, it looks like Legoland is the most popular, and Alton Towers is the second most popular, and then after that it's Thorpe Park. Legoland, I think my girlfriend would like that more. It's very relaxed. Like the rides look very calm and sort of like children's rides. Whereas Alton Towers has lots more scary rides. So I didn't really take many pictures when I was there, or videos or anything like that, because I didn't have my main camera with me, because it's too big to carry, really. You have to, every ride you go on, you have to keep putting your luggage somewhere, and I was worried it might get lost, so I only had my phone camera with me. But if you want to see some of the rides, then just go to Wikipedia and type in Alton Towers, and you can see them all, pictures of all of them there. Anyway, so what did we do first? As soon as we got into the park, well, actually, before we got into the park, I thought there were quite a few cars there, and I thought it was going to be a bit busy on the day we went. So I bought these tickets. They're like gold tickets. So there are different levels of tickets you can buy. You just get wait. You buy like an entrance ticket, and then you can buy on top of that, so an additional ticket, a fast track ticket, and you can buy, I think, maybe bronze and silver and golden and platinum. And platinum lets you ride on every ride as many times as you want, but not every ride, but lots of rides as many times as you want. So it's sort of like unlimited rides. Gold lets you ride on like all of the most popular rides, but only once. So you can only it's like, well, if there's a big queue, then you can push in front of everyone. So if there's a queue that's like an hour long or 2 hours long, then you can just go like straight up to the front and get on the ride. So if I go to Alton Towers, generally I get a gold ticket, because I don't like queuing. Nobody likes queuing. But sometimes you can spend so long queuing at a theme park that you just spend most of the day queuing, and then you don't get to really enjoy it. And also, since my girlfriend, it was like the first time she was going there, and I don't know when she's going to have the chance to go again, I wanted to make sure we went on as many rides as possible. So I had these gold tickets, and I parked in the car park, and I thought, it's looking a bit busy. And before we went to the park, there's a monorail that you can take from the car park to the park entrance, and there was a queue for that, and I thought, it looks like a bit of a long queue, and so I decided to walk instead, and that's about a 15-minute walk from the car park to the entrance. It's a big car park, and then when we got there, it looked pretty, not quiet, but sort of like normal busy level for like early morning. So if you get there, it opens up at 10 a.m. And if you get there at 10 a.m., it's usually a bit quiet, even on busy days. So I thought, okay, yeah, it's probably a good idea that I had the golden tickets. And then as we were walking around the park, I started to notice that there was no one else around. Like we walked up this long section, heading towards like this water ride, and this train minecart ride, and there was no one. There was like one member of staff and no one else. And I thought, oh, okay, it's really quiet today. Maybe it will get busy later, because the weather wasn't so good. It was forecast rain. So I think if people see rain on the weather forecast, they probably keep away from theme parks. But I'd already booked tickets for that day, so I had to go no matter what. So we went on this ride where you're going down a big river, and you're sitting in this like a really big tire, like an inflatable rubber ring with seats on. You sometimes get a bit wet on that. But anyway, when we were walking up to the queue, there wasn't a queue. There was no one waiting for it at all. And we just walked straight onto it. Got in one of these rubber ring things with the seats in. I don't know, there's about 8 seats in, I think, in each one. And there was no one in front of us, in the one in front of us. There was no one in the one behind us. It was just, I've never seen the theme park so quiet, ever. It was really weird. So we went straight on there, and that was a lot of fun. It's a good, one of my favorite rides, I think. It's just fun. Next we went on this runaway minecart, which is it's a roller coaster, but it's not, kids can ride it. It's not scary, but it's just fun. It's a fun ride. And it goes under a tunnel where that water ride goes as well. They both share the same tunnel when they go under the tunnel. And again, we just walked straight up, got on the train, and went. No queues. Really weird. Next, we went to an area of the park where there's a lot more, there's bigger rides, the scarier rides. And I think the first one we went on is called Galactica. Used to be called Air a long time ago. Called Galactica now. And it's a ride that's meant to simulate flying. So when you sit on it, and just before when you sit in the seats, just before the ride starts, the seats sort of start moving up. So your legs get lifted up and everything is lifted up. So you're horizontal, sort of almost like you're lying down, but not quite lying down. It's it's hard to explain. You have to see a picture of it. But it's meant to give you the feeling that you're flying. And I think it's a really fun roller coaster. It's big. It's a big one. And it does go upside down and twist and all this kind of stuff. But it's quite gentle considering it's so big. It doesn't pull you about too much. Anyway, she went on that and really liked that ride and wanted to go on it again. But she was a bit nervous about it and wasn't sure that she wanted to go on it again just yet. So I went on a couple of other rides. I went on this one that just spins round and round, and it was a bit boring, to be honest. And then I went on one called Nemesis, which is one of my favorites, and it's quite old now. I think I remember it opening in the 90s when I was a kid, and it feels old. When you're going on it, it shakes a bit, and it's a bit worrying. But yeah, it's a fast one, that is. And it is really fast all the way around the track. It's hard to know where you are because everything's moving by you so quickly when you ride it. But it was good fun, and I enjoyed that again. But I should mention that just before going on these rides, we went to a restaurant there. It was called the roller coaster restaurant, and you sit at a table, and then your food comes to you from really high up on a roller coaster track, and sort of goes down the track and comes to your table, which is quite fun. Quite fun to see. Anyway, we had some food there, and then I noticed that they do special Alton Towers beer. And there was a beer called Nemesis and a beer called Oblivion, named after the rides at the theme park. And I thought, oh, I wonder what that tastes like. I've never tried Alton Towers beer before. So I had to try one. So I had 1 pint, and I was going on these rides afterwards that were really ferocious. And I felt a little weird. Not like too bad, but a little like, maybe it wasn't a good idea to eat lots of food and then have a pint of beer and then go straight on these like really fast roller coasters. But I was okay. I just felt a bit weird. Next, we took what do you call it? Not a chairlift. That's at a ski resort. Oh, I've forgotten the name for it. Maybe it is a chairlift. Like, I know they call it ropeway in Japanese, and I've forgotten what we call it in English now. Oh no! It's like it's like a car, not a car, like a car with windows you can get into, and it's on a rope, and it pulls you along, and it's like a slow ride, and you can watch the ground from high up. I'm doing a bad job at explaining this, but I think you get the idea. Chairlift, chairway. No, it's gone. The English has gone. My English power has gone. Anyway, we took that and went to another part of the park where there's some even more scary rides. And my girlfriend really didn't like the look of any of those rides. She thought they looked too scary. But I took her to this one ride called 13, and I thought she might like it, and also you can't see a lot of it. So it's sort of like the track for this ride, the track that the cars ride upon. It's very hidden, so you can't see what it looks like. And I thought that might help. You know, if you can't see it scary, then it's not too bad, right? But all of the other rides, you can see the tracks, and you can see, like, I don't know if they've got loops in or turns or whatever, but this one didn't. And 13, it's a little bit fast in places. There's a drop right at the beginning that was a bit more violent than I thought it was. I remember 13 being a very gentle ride in my mind, but I hadn't been on it for like over, I don't know, 3 or 4 years or something. So I don't think she liked that drop, and I looked over at her and her eyes were closed at that point, so maybe didn't enjoy that. But the rest of the ride was fine and much more gentle, and it's quite fun. And there's this really good bit right in the middle of the ride, which I'm not going to tell you about, just in case you get the chance to go there, and it will spoil the surprise, so I won't tell you. But it's fun, and it's quite unique, that ride. Afterwards, we went to another area with more scary rides, but before that, we took a look around the towers themselves. So Alton Towers is called Alton Towers because 1, it's in Alton, and 2, there are towers there, and these towers, they look sort of like a castle. So it's this big old building, and sadly, they're in like very bad condition. They're broken down, and you can't go into them. They seem to be completely closed, and every time I go back to the park, more and more of it gets closed off, and now you can't go inside at all. But last time I went, you could go inside this big hall, and like a dining hall or something. It's really big, with these really big, great big windows at the end, like stained glass, colourful windows at the end. You can't go in there anymore, sadly. But I remember when I was much younger going around, and you could walk around all of the towers, and every room is just empty. It's just, there aren't any, there's no furniture in there, there's no, like, I don't know how to describe it, there's no wallpaper, there's no carpet, there's nothing. It's just like a completely bare room. There's no windows, no glass in the windows, and you could walk around the whole thing, and it was a weird experience walking around like this empty, completely empty old building, but pretty interesting actually. But yeah, that's all closed down now. It's a shame. It's all about the rides now. Like, the rides are the most important thing. They bring all the money in, and the towers at Alton Towers, they're just getting worse and worse every year. But I wish they would spend some of the money that they earn, like restoring, like fixing these towers and making them like an attraction that you could see again. Because a long time ago, they used to belong to someone, like an earl, like some noble person, the Earl of Shrewsbury or someone like that. I don't know. And his family used to live there, and there's a garden that you can walk around, a very nice garden. So you don't have to just go on the rides. You can walk around the gardens, which are rather nice. Although we didn't walk in them, sadly. I didn't get to take my girlfriend around the gardens because we were so busy with the rides. So in this other area we went to, it was called the X sector because it's really extreme, I guess. I went on Oblivion, which is a ride that just drops straight down vertically. And I went on something called Smiler, which has so many loops. It's just crazy. So many loops and twists and turns. It's quite long as well. It's long for a roller coaster. But my girlfriend just watched. She didn't want to go on those. They're too scary. Then I went on another one, Rita, which is just, it's got incredibly fast acceleration. It goes from like 0 to 60 miles an hour in seconds. I don't know. I don't know how, like 3 seconds or something. I don't know. Really fast. And then, because what I was doing is I was planning the whole day in my mind. Like, okay, we'll go on these rides first together, and then like I'll show you the rest of the park, but you probably won't want to go. My girlfriend won't want to go on these other rides. So that would be a bit boring for her. And I'll go on those rides. And then right at the end of the day, I'll take you back to this part of the park, and then we can go on these other rides. So we can like start the day on rides we can go on together, and then finish the day on rides we can go on together. And I thought it'd be really nice for her. But there was a bit of a problem. So we headed back to this ride, this Galactica ride that my girlfriend really liked, to go on it for a second time. And it was closed. I thought, oh no, what's going on here? Why is it closed? And I could see some people starting to walk home. I was thinking, well, what's going on? It's only 4 p.m. The park doesn't close until 5 p.m. So I started to look on the internet, and the park closed at 4 p.m., not 5 p.m., which is weird because every time I've been there, it's always been 5 p.m. So I'm not sure when they changed the date, when they changed the time. So my last hour, my plan for the last hour was ruined. And there was this one ride that I've never been on, like a new ride at Alton Towers called the Wicker Man. And I really wanted to take my girlfriend on that because it looks like a fun ride, the kind of ride that she can ride on. It's not too extreme, not too violent. So I think she would have liked that. And I was saving that one. I was saving that to be like the last ride of the day, just before we went home. But because it closed earlier than I thought it would, we didn't get to go on it, sadly. Anyway, I suppose if she's able to come back to England at some point in the future, and if we go back to Alton Towers at some point in the future, then at least there's like a ride that we've never been on before that we can go on together. And that is pretty much it. I've gone way over. I didn't realise I could talk about Alton Towers for so long. In fact, I could keep talking about it because I've got lots of stories from when I used to go there for different events. Like there's a Halloween event that they do where the park stays open till like 9 p.m. at night, and you get to go around all the rides in the dark. And me and some friends went in costumes, dressed as like ghosts and things. But that's a tale for another time because, yeah, it's almost a 20-minute long podcast. So I'm sorry about that. But, you get twice the listening practice that you would normally get in this podcast. I do hope you have enjoyed it. But until next time, bye-bye.